finally, you need to have an NGO before winning the scholarship. That is not true. I don't have an NGO. And so many other people do not have NGOs. You don't need to have an NGO before winning the scholarship. So I think these four are most myths that I've heard from people saying different things. And I'm like, where are you guys getting these things from? Yeah, I don't know if Rita, any other one you want to add, any other in this area?
No. I think you've pretty much covered it. So
okay. So the next slide is basically notable Chevening alumni. So we have Amina C. Mohammed, the former Kenya Cabinet Secretary. We have John Momo, the chairman and CEO of Channel Television Nigeria. We have Melanie Jolie, Canadian cabinet minister, and then we have late Herbert Wike, Access Bank chairman. So these are just few out of the hundreds, out of the thousands that have gone through Chevening, went through Chevening, or Chevening played a role in their story. These are just few people. And I'm saying this so that you get to know that it's not just a group of random people. It's not just... And sorry? Okay. There are people that have been selected, and there are people that have gone on to make something out of that. So it's not just you coming to pass through just to get your master's and then go back and sit down. It's because there's a story you have to tell. It's because Chevening is seeing something in you, and they know that you can actually do whatever that is. So the next slide, where I'm going to just talk about Chevening briefly. I don't know. There are people that probably because they see you they saw your post about Chevening, or they see your picture about winning a scholarship, and then they don't even know what Chevening is about. But the next thing is that they are also applying. And I've heard people, or I've seen people that come to me, and then they said, okay, that was last year. They said, oh, they applied for Chevening and they got rejected. And I'm like, okay, what did you apply for? They just know they applied for a scholarship, and they don't really know what it is. They don't really know the background. They don't even know that Chevening is basically the UK government scholarship. They don't know anything about that. So what exactly is Chevening? Now, Chevening is the UK government's international scholarships and fellowships program. So it's not just scholarship, there's also the fellowship wing of Chevening. And then it enables outstanding emerging leaders from all over the world to pursue a one-year master's degree in the UK. So it is funded by the FCDO, which is the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, and it is usually fully funded. When we say scholarships are fully funded, I believe that has been said over and over again during the sessions. But basically, tuition fees, visa, arrival, departure allowance, return flight tickets, every single thing. Chevening also contributes towards your TB test, and they give you a monthly stipend. And then you can study any subject, like any subject in any field. There's no subject that you mention, or there's no course that you mention, and then you'll be like, I don't think Chevening can fund this course. As long as it is the school in the UK and they are offering that course, be rest assured that you can study that with Chevening. So what are the eligibility criteria? What do you need to do? So this probably by this time you already know what it is, and I'll just run through the next couple of slides so we get talking about leadership and everything leadership because of our time. First is that you need to be a citizen of a Chevening eligible country. So you can check this on the website. You need to have an undergraduate degree and be at least 18 years of age. There's no maximum age limit, but there's a minimum age limit, which is 18. You need to have at least 2 years of work experience or 2,800 work hours. And then you need to know, this is very important, that you are returning to your country of citizenship for a minimum of 2 years after your award has ended. This is not a JAPA route. Chevening they are not calling you so that you will not return. They are calling you to equip you so that you can return to your country and implement. It is not a Japa route. So if you have the plan, or you are having those ideas that when you come, maybe you apply as an asylum seeker, or you will apply for post-study work permits, it is not possible. You are returning back. If you've not made up your mind, this is the point that you should know that Chevening is not for you. If Japa is your plan, Chevening is probably not for you. So how to calculate your Chevening work hours, or just what it is about Chevening work hours. First, and all of these things, all of this information, you can find it in detail on the Chevening website, in detail. So one is that your work experience can be full, it can be part-time, it can be voluntary, it can be paid, or it can be unpaid internships. And then the second one is that you do not need to meet the work experience requirements in one period of employment. And what do I mean by this? You don't need to be employed with a specific organization for 2 years before you are able to meet that work experience. You may have worked in organization A, B, and C in a period of 2 years, and you'll be able to meet the criteria for work hours. And then it does not need to be related to your field of study, but then it is important that it's transferable skills that you have learned in that work, in your experience. You should be able to relate it to your essays to help you, and also to help you achieve your career goals. That is something you want to take note of. What are the skills you have learned from every work experience? Write them down. How can you put it into display? How can you show it in your essays? You don't need to prove evidence of your work. There's no point going to meet all your employers to ask letters from them. Chevening does not need that. And then if you're currently employed and you submit your application before the deadline, your work hours will be calculated until the application closes. I don't know, I don't know, the slide I'm seeing, it's like the previous slide. Yeah, but we are done with this slide though. So a 9 to 5 is 8 hours per day, and it is 40 hours per week. So how to calculate your work hours is 9 to 5, 8 hours per day, and 40 hours per week. So you do 40 times 52 to get your work hours. So 40 times 52 in this case is 2,080 hours in a year. And okay. So I think we'll skip the next slide and just go to what to consider before applying for Chevening. So what should you consider before applying for Chevening? I personally divide this into 3 parts: research, prepare, and connect. Number 1, you should ask yourself, do you want this? Do you actually want Chevening? Number 2, under research, why do you want Chevening? So you've asked yourself if you want it. Now, why? Your why is actually going to determine how much effort you put in. You don't expect 1 billion naira and you're putting in the effort of 100,000 naira. Your why is going to be a motivation for you. It's going to be an inspiration. It's going to help you to sit down and write those essays. Next thing you should ask yourself, does it align with your goals? If it does not align with your goals, if your plan is to Japa, probably Chevening is not for you. You should be looking at other scholarships. And then, are you eligible? If it aligns with your goal, you want it, so are you eligible, or you need to put in some more work? Now, prepare. When we talk about prepare, everything has been said in previous sessions: passports, your education documents, your school admission. If you need to write IELTS, you do that. And then connect. So if you're connecting with people, if you want Chevening, you should be able to look up past and present scholars. You should be able to join communities such as this one, Global Wins, to know what it is all about, to meet like-minded individuals like you. And then you should be able to read their stories, and you should know what it is you're looking at. If you want to apply for education, look for scholars that have that studied education-related courses, follow them on their social media. Okay, there are people that have mentioned following Rita in this place. You know, probably you want to study something like, oh, you are watching her videos, you are reading her posts. That's good. Read stories, be inspired, know what they did, know the steps they took to get to where they are. And then now, we're going to skip through the next slide to talk about how to write Chevening essays. The next slide is basically talking about the components of Chevening application, which is the essays, the interview, and then I personally add the admission, because there are people that have lost the scholarship because they were not able to secure school admission. So that is what you need to keep in mind as well. So how do we write Chevening essays? Storytelling, technique, and review. Storytelling, technique, and review. These are 3 basic techniques, 3 basic methods, 3 basic skills. And the Chevening essay is basically storytelling. It's just you coming, just writing down your story and telling people, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is where I want to go to, this is what I hope to achieve. Under storytelling, your writing tone and language matters. Are you writing with an active voice, or you are writing with a passive voice? You should make sure you're writing with an active voice and not a passive voice. Don't use passive words in your essay. Use active words. Number 2 is that you need a theme. You need a theme that is going to be displayed all through your essays. You need keywords. Have a dictionary of words. Maybe you hear somebody say something and they use a word. Research that word. What does it mean? How can you use this word in your story? Note that word down. If you need that word in your essays, then you have a dictionary of vocabulary or a book of vocabulary for you. You need to be authentic when writing your essays, and this should be displayed all through. And then you need clarity. Your essay should show that this person is not confused. You cannot be talking about environment here and the next thing you're talking about finance when you're not talking about environmental financing. You're not talking about climate financing. Maybe you're talking, let it be coherence. We'll talk some more on that. Rita, I don't know if you have anything.
Go on. I'm listening. Miss I'm learning.
No. So, but we'll see. We'll talk more into detail about the essay. So then we'll get to that point. We'll probably break it down, because now everybody's just like, okay. So now the next thing is your writing technique. Now, when I talk about writing technique, I am basically talking about every single thing about the essays. Everything. Your structure, your content. For your structure, the structure of your essay should be broken down into 3 parts: your introduction, your body, and your conclusion. Don't ramp everything up and just write it scattered. Introduction, body, and conclusion. When somebody picks up your essay to read, the person should clearly know that this is this person's introduction. When the person gets to the body, the person knows that, okay, this is where everything happens, the content. And then the conclusion as well. I should be able to tell that you are concluding. Your content is important. You're not writing to secondary school teachers or secondary school students. You're writing to people, reviewers that have read thousands of essays. You want to make sure that your essay is worth their time, is worth the read. Let somebody read your essay and nod their head. Then 2 other techniques for writing: style and the SMART. And we are going to see that in the course of this. No, okay, we will not use the SMART technique for the leadership and networking, but that can be applied for your career plan. Then review. Statistics and research. Have you done that? Don't just write essays. Have you done your statistics? Have you done your research? Do you have statistics? Do you have data backing up what you are seeing? Don't tell them 500 people suffer from malaria. Who told you that? Are you in your essay? Am I in my essay? The slide shows I in quotes. It is not teamwork. It is you. It is I. Be proud of your work if you did it. Nobody is going to beat you for saying that you did something, except you did not do it and you're trying to steal someone else's glory. If you did it, own it, claim it. The same way as you are shouting, you did it, you are using I. The same way, if you make mistakes from that project, still say, I learned from my mistake. Own your successes and own your mistakes. Does your essay reflect vision? Does it reflect impact? And does it reflect passion? Vision, impact, and passion should be displayed in your essays. From leadership to career plan. Check for spelling errors in your essays. Have you written above the word count, or have you written just barely 100 words? If they are asking you to write 500 words, it's because they know 500 words may not be enough. So don't write 50, 100 words. Check for plagiarism. Reflect on your essays, read it, give it to somebody to read for you as well. Okay, so next slide. Common steps to write Chevening essays. I'm breaking the steps down into, because everything is going to come together when you start writing. First thing, if I were to write my Chevening essay now, which is also what I did when I wrote my essay, is to understand and break down the question to know what exactly they are looking for. If they have said Chevening is looking for leaders, for individuals who are leaders, what is the keyword there? Identify those keywords, note them down, break down the question. Break down the question before you start writing. Know what they are looking for, what they want to see in that essay. Next thing, choose a theme that will reflect across your essays. I've said this before, and it can be from your chosen course of study. So if you are going for education, make sure that your theme is related to education. I think when I was writing, mine was about crime or so, something like that. Make sure it's related to what it is. It can be from your chosen course of study, it can be from anything, but have a theme that reflects all through your essay. Number 3, read the Chevening common mistakes and reading committee feedback. This is very, very important because they put this thing out every single year. Go to the Chevening website and read those things. This is going to help you in each essay, because this year, this is maybe the mistake that was observed among the essays they got. Next year, it may be different. So make sure you go and check that. This is what I did, and this is what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you anything different from what I did. You can find it on the Chevening website. It's not hidden. If you check, you will see it. Consider the structure and the content of your essays, which is number 4. And number 5, start with writing a draft. Your essays don't have to be perfect at first. Write it out, however it is explained. Write even more above the word counts. Just write everything. The first essay I wrote is not the same essay I submitted. I don't even think I submitted the second or third essay. Just write it out first. Okay, so this is where the next slide is the writing techniques broken down, the style, and then the SMART. And these are things that you've probably heard a lot of times. The style, S means situation, the T means task, the A means action, the R means results, and then the L means lesson. If it was a success, what did you learn from that project? How was it a success? If it was a failure, what mistake did you make? Not necessarily a failure, but what mistake did you make? How would you improve it if you were given the opportunity to do that again? That was one question I was asked in my interview. I did not make a mistake in the project, but I was asked how I was going to improve. So that is still far. That's in the future. But note everything you're writing. And then the SMART technique is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And this is for your career plans. So before I go to start talking about the leadership essay in more detail specifically, I want Rita to say something. So, Rita, you can go ahead to just start in
All
this
right.
part.
Well, thank you so much. Your slides are very, very loaded, to be very honest.
Thank you.
Guys, if you're here, please let me see your whatever. Can I see an emoji just so we're sure we're not talking to whatever? The air. Beautiful. Eunice, you've been very, 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 very active. I see.
Yeah, I've been seeing her messages.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. So yes, me, I'm just waiting for when we'll start the main thing. Like this is the main thing because you need to have this background before you enter anything in the first place. But I just want Favour to finish telling you guys, thank you so much, guys, for the emojis. I can see you. I just want you guys to have these since this week is the first essay bootcamp, yeah. So they need this structure so that when they go in, they're not just writing. The one thing I want to say is that 500 words, because someone reached out to me and said, oh, 500 words.
And I want to tell you, whoever will not defend your case, the law.
Someone
What do
said,
you want to tell him? What do you want to tell him? What was am I
somebody
hearing?
was preaching. Somebody was preaching. What is? How do you do it to your case? Anyway, as long as you have what you like, you know what it is you want to write about. Trust me, 500 words will not even be enough for you. You will struggle to
Yeah.
cram everything it is you want to show in that 500 words. Because someone was telling me that 500 words is too much now. I say it's too much.
Sorry, let me add something there. So that's why I said it's important you have vocabulary, you have words, because you need compound words. You need words that will be able to define something. To define a sentence you want to make, you need those words. Just one word to be able to say everything. 500 words is not enough.
Exactly.
Sorry
Exactly.
for.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So, guys, to be honest, I don't think there's anything more I can add at this stage. At this stage, because she has literally said it all. Know what it is. The first thing I would say is that even as we're even on this call now, you should have a pen and paper. You should have a pen and paper because very soon we'll start asking like real questions, So have a pen and paper and get ready to write because you will start writing your essay from this call. That's all I'm going to say. So when Favour finishes, okay, how do we get the vocabulary? Okay. So there are different ways to improve your vocabulary. Reading. I found that reading works excellently, and not just reading, like reading a wide range of things. So from newspaper articles, from fiction books, other self-help books, reading, listening to, thank you, Eunice, listening to the news. And when I say news, I don't mean Insta blog. Listening to the news. Turn on CNN, turn on Al Jazeera, just and there's some educational shows as well that you can watch to improve your
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Gone are the days that what? We want to hear your thoughts. That what? That channels cannot teach you good English.
Okay.
The point I'm trying to make is listen to news, read newspapers, and be intentional about new words. What is vocabulary? Vocabulary is basically having a wide range of words, having a wide yes, a wide range of words that you can use, terminologies, words, things that you can use in writing, basically, and improving your grammatical, like your technique, grammatically, etc. That's basically what vocabulary is, just knowing different words. Because for instance, if I want to say, I came to London last year to start up a master's degree at Queen Mary University of London. I can just say, I started a master's degree at the Queen Mary University of London last year. This thing I said just now and what I said before are the same thing, but one is more concise than the other one. And this is the way that you can say what you mean, but not in so many words that will take up and now make you overshoot the 500. But we haven't gotten there yet. So let Favour just finish.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I don't know. Okay, your question. I saw you added something, the vocabulary associated with the theme we are writing on. Just to add to everything Rita has said, watch TV, news, read newspapers. If the course you're going for, maybe the industry has newsletter to send.
Okay, yeah.
Organization, maybe the organization you want to work with after you, there are organizations like that, a couple of them, they have newsletters they send. Subscribe for their newsletters. Read those newsletters. You will see the words that they use. You will see the words that show experience, the words that show technical words in that industry. You need those words. So subscribe for those newsletters in addition to everything. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you can go ahead, Rita.
Are you done? No, I'm done. You can
Okay.
continue. We can start
talking about. Yeah.
So
the next slide basically now is when we are going to start talking about how to write the Chevening leadership essay. And this question is basically the Chevening question. I don't think the question changes. Or I have not seen a situation where the question was different from leadership. So Chevening is looking for individuals who will be future leaders or influencers in their home countries. Explain how you meet this requirement using clear examples of your own leadership and influencing skills to support your answer. What are the keywords here? Leaders or influencers. Where are these future leaders located in their home countries? How do you tell people you're a future leader or you are a leader? Use clear examples of your own leadership, not somebody's own leadership, your own leadership and influencing skills. So you're showing leadership and you're showing that you can influence people in one essay. I believe, and I will always say that the Chevening essay is just one essay that has different parts. For me, and this is what I did. My essays were not far-fetched from each other. The examples I chose in my leadership essay were the same examples I used in my networking essay. But this time around, I was showing how I network. And we'll go to that when we'll go to that section later, rather than how I was leading. So when somebody reads my leadership essay and they go to the networking essay, they know that, oh, this is the story. This is what happened. It is not a very different example. It is the same example, but this time around, how I was networking. So this may be something you want to do, you want to apply, but this is what I did. My leadership and networking examples, essays, were the same thing, but in different contexts. So anybody that reads that essay is able to follow through. It's more like they were with me in those cases. So keywords I've pointed out: leadership and influence. And it's going to help you when you're able, it's going to help you a lot. So before you start writing your leadership, or when you're forming the structure of your leadership essay, why do you do what you do? This is one question you want to ask yourself. Why do you do what you do? Why do you think you're a leader? Who told you you're a leader? What makes you think you're a leader? So why? Again, if you've asked yourself why at the beginning of doing your Chevening research, answering this why is not going to be hard because your why will be clearly defined. And Chevening essays need clarity. Second thing, where do you draw your inspiration or motivation from? You want to start your essay strong and you want to end it strong. So if your leadership essay, you start strong and then you end weak, the person will be like, ah. If you start weak and then you end strong, it's still like, ah. So you want to make sure you put that powerful, what's the word? That powerful, just that strength. You want to maintain that momentum all through your essay. Third question, where or how do you influence people? When you note all these things down, when you're writing, it's going to just be going. So give 2 or 3 examples to show and not to tell. Don't write 5 examples that are not related, that have nothing to do with each other. Or maybe you're talking about chickens here and you're talking about cars here. Please, just give 2 or 3 examples that are concise, that are detailed, that you're able to show everything. Use the Star L technique for your leadership essay. Your examples should emphasize your results. And how can you emphasize your results? You can emphasize your results through statistics, through figures and facts. Statistics, figures, and facts. And this is why I said you need to do your research. Don't just say 500 people have malaria. How? Who told you? Where did you get that information from? Statistics, figures, and facts. And this can help you as well when you're writing your introduction for your essay. What did you do exactly in your leadership essay? Did you use I? What did you do exactly? Write your own role. Don't write somebody else's role. Write what you did. And your examples should also show soft and transferable skills. It should not just be you writing. It should show the skills that you got from those examples. So I've said this before, start strong and finish strong with how Chevening will benefit you. So you're finishing strong with how Chevening will benefit you. You're starting strong with your own story. You're finishing strong with how Chevening will benefit you. So I think I'm seeing questions in comments, but I think, Martins, we have to take questions afterwards, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go straight to actually writing the essays when you're done with the slides, and then take questions afterward. I'll be responding when the questions are put in the chat. But if you have to respond to anyone right now, you can.
Oh, okay. There are a couple of them. So I saw a question. You used the same example. How did you apply the star in the network essay without repeating the things you mentioned in the leadership? Again, I said, I did not write. This is where your essay is being concise comes into play, and this is where I'm writing to make sure that they follow. So I gave an example of a project I carried out, right? And then in my leadership essay, in my networking essay, I don't have to repeat that entire project again. I am just talking about, when I carried out so project, I met so person, and this is how I've been able to maintain that relationship. This is what I learned from that project. This is how how meeting those people benefited me. There are examples, and we'll get to that. So I think that will be better. It will give you a better explanation. So we can go to the next slide. Just basically leadership essay tips. Don't define leadership or use quotes. And this is something that people keep hammering. They keep saying, don't define leadership or use quotes. Use recent examples from your professional experience. I personally do not think you should give an example from secondary school. And this is also on the Chevening website. Again, go and check the reading committee feedback and common mistakes. I did not get this thing from elsewhere. I got it from there. Try to use recent examples from your professional experience. Don't go back to your secondary school. Use recent examples. Another thing you should understand is that a position is not leadership. Because you're the CEO or you're the founder of an organization, it does not make you a leader. You should show what you have achieved and how you have influenced others. You're not telling them you're a founder. You're showing them you're a founder. Number 4, demonstrate ambition by linking on your examples to your study and career plans. Again, the Chevening essay is not a very different essay. It is just one essay with 4 parts. So demonstrate it. When you say something in your leadership, how does that thing link to your career plan? And this is where you are finishing strong. Oh, I saw doing this, Chevening will help me to do this. We'll see examples. The next slide, I talked about starting personal. So your starting personal may be from your own story, or it can be from your research, your facts, and your figures, which I have talked about. So make sure it is personalized. You don't let it be something that any random person can write. It can be personal. It can be from, if you're writing that from your personal angle, from your personal view, it should also have stats, figures, and facts. Stats, that is statistics, figures, and facts. So include your volunteering examples. Don't forget that your work experience, also volunteering can make it up for you. Sorry, I have to drink water. And so include your volunteering examples. Let your essay show selflessness. Leadership is about selflessness. It's not just carrying founder or CEO on your head. Avoid using multiple examples. I've said this before, that are not linked or they do not show a specific results. So let your examples clearly define. By define, I mean show. It should clearly show leadership. Your essays and your examples, they should be coherent. They should not be different. And I think the last one is repeated. So Rita, please, I don't know if you have anything to say here before we can start talking about writing the essay. That is examples.
I think I have just a comment.
Okay.
In speaking to examples that you placed on the screen, I just want to re-emphasize what you mentioned. Favour Goodwill mentioned that you're not supposed to use examples from secondary school. The reason I'm reiterating this is because some people would say, I started leading as far back as when I was in secondary school. I was a prefect in my school, or you did XYZ as senior prefect, etc. Now, the only reason why you should be considering anything from your past or from that far, that long ago a time, is if you can relate what being a prefect in the past resulted into in the present. I will just give you an example. If I was maybe during my time in secondary school, I tutored and I coached science and physics classes or people writing WIAC and JAM, and then I helped them decide their course of study. And then that resulted into them becoming medical doctors who are now working in maybe supply chain, and we now have a medical doctors network in Nigeria as a result of that thing. Then there is a connection between that past example and a recent result. But if you don't have any past example that is linked with a recent result, there is no need going back into the past if it is not going to be relevant. So the key word here is relevance. I just want to emphasize that. Thank you, Favour.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I wanted Rita to say something to add to this before, or probably
Like I said, though, like I said, you've covered it all. You did a very, very, very comprehensive job. I feel like things will come to me when I start talking, like when we start the kini gong gong gong, like the writing, like things will come to me when we start writing.
Okay, so
I feel like everybody should. I don't know if Martins intends to share these slides later on because these slides are rich. They need to have these slides so that they can keep referring back to it.
yeah, so thank you. So the next slides are just basically examples I added. So you can just go ahead to start sharing the examples.
What did you say? Sorry, I should do what?
Like the next slide,
Uh-huh.
just examples of bad leadership and
Oh.
good leadership. Then before, so that is that for leadership. Then I went on to talk about networking and
Okay.
or do I go ahead to talk about the networking before we do the examples?
I think let's just move into that, and then so that we don't confuse people, and then we'll go to networking.
Yeah.
So what I want to do now is to make this as practical as possible. I need one volunteer. So let me just see the first person that reacts so that I use the person. Hannah or Mokaye. Okay, perfect. I think the first person I saw here was Anna. Maybe I was looking at the wrong places. So Hannah, please, could you turn on your video and your like unmute yourself?
Okay, the host has disabled it.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. So
I
Hannah,
don't even know what we're doing though. I just said okay, but then okay, let's do it.
Hola. That's why you sign up to give 1 million naira. You will not know. Okay. I want you to give me your profile. So the beginning of writing an essay is knowing who you are, knowing where you've been, and essentially knowing where you want to go, right?
Rita,
So
do you want to
Yeah.
share the screen?
me,
You want me to stop sharing? Yes. Do you want to share like a Google Doc that you're going to work on, for example?
I don't know if I want to share Google Doc or,
No
but
problem. I'll share
you can
from
put a
here so
Google
that
Doc on the
people can
screen.
see why you speak.
You can share a Google Doc on the screen and maybe like we did the other time and maybe type as we go on. If that's not too much trouble for you, I'm sorry. So Hannah, I would really love to see your face as we're talking so that I know it just helps if that's not.
Yeah, it's the host. If Martin can just help with the video.
Oh, right. Okay. Anyway, let's start. So can you give me like have you started writing your essay?
I have the draft of my leadership also.
Oh, perfect. So give me what am I asking for? Your profile, essentially. What leadership roles have you undertaken, say in the past? First, give me like just very briefly your profile. Are you doing NYSC now? Have you been working? How long have you been working? In what field do you work? Just briefly like that. So let me write your name, Hannah. So what do you do, Hannah?
Okay, I work as a project manager in an NGO,
Okay,
and I've been doing that for 1 year, 11 months.
so almost 2
But
years.
yeah. But prior to that, I was a communications officer as a gender advocacy NGO before I moved into project.
Okay, so these
And
are
I did that.
NGOs, right?
Yes, I studied mass communication. Then I've also carried out personal projects in my community, like donor funded projects.
Okay, these donor-funded projects, are they like within your NGO or are they just separate stuff that you do generally on your own?
Yeah, there's separate stuff that I do on my own, and it's
Okay.
related to the environment here.
Okay, so let me get now from your profile, I'm getting two things. You work in non-profit and you did mass communication, but obviously you pivoted when you started working and went into the non-profit space. You work with and you've worked with 2 NGOs so far, which means you have more than the 2 years required working experience, right? And then
Yes.
now you've also done like personal donor funded projects. And the donor funded projects you've done are in climate. You said climate?
Yes, they are related to the environment.
Okay, environment. So how does that so which examples did you use for your leadership when you were writing? Where did you focus? Did you focus on your NGO or did you focus on the
I focused on both.
Okay. So what Yeah, I'm listening.
In 2022 I did a community-led cleanup that cleaned my to evacuate landfills and also gave a recycling bin to our community. And currently, we have like less landfills in my community, and spaces that we cleaned up have now been turned into farms. That
Beautiful.
other ones, the landfills are no longer there.
Okay. So how
Then
did you incorporate
moving,
the gender?
how did I what?
How did you incorporate your gender advocacy?
I didn't use the example at all
Okay,
because
beautiful.
my course now is environment and development.
Okay.
So my examples were focused on my projects that I've done, the
Beautiful.
2 projects I've done in my community. Then I now used another example of a project I did in my NGO.
Okay, beautiful. So now I hope everybody's listening and everybody's getting something. I'm asking these questions to highlight something, okay? She has a wide range of experience in different things.
Sorry, Rita. What was your second example project?
Okay, shortly after the cleanup, we thought that we should take sustainability to schools. So we started a school club in the schools in our community. Currently I have like 5 school clubs that I run, and we give them recycling bins to recycle PET bottles. The money gotten from the PET bottles are used for the schools too, because they are mostly public schools.
Okay, perfect. So anybody listening to Hannah speak now, you can tell that first of all, she works somewhere. And obviously, as she's working in the NGO space, she has she would have undertaken NGOs. Their job is to undertake projects in community, help the community and all that, right? But she has also done things separately on her own. And she decided, you know what, since I worked in a gender advocacy NGO, and what I want to go and study is not gender advocacy, it is not human rights, it is not women's rights, it has nothing to do with gender advocacy or anything. She went back again in her life and thought and said, okay, but I have done a lot of things in environmental, blah, blah, blah. And she brought it out. She brought out those experiences and she has highlighted them. So everybody now, as you bring out your pen and paper, we're going to go back now. Is there anybody in this call that you've not written anything? You've not done anything. Like you've not even started writing. You are lost. You've not started writing your leadership. You're just lost completely.
Yes.
Who shouted yes like that?
Rita, please.
Who is that?
I'm the one.
I don't know. I can't see who is. What's your name?
And
Okay, so let me leave Anna now. So it seems like you have. Anne, can you come on the call?
okay. The video was disabled.
It's fine. It's fine. So Anne, why haven't you started? What's the challenge?
I want to have a grip of everything first before writing something down.
What are you having? What do you want to have a grip on?
The essays, I've done the other part of the assignments. It's just the essays.
Okay, beautiful. So now let us start with your leadership. Who are you, Anne?
Okay. I actually finished, I did an human anatomy undergraduate, but I've been volunteering in some NGOs, basically program management and project management.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this? Like, when did you graduate? How long have you been working?
I graduated 2021 and I started NGO, I think January 2022.
Okay, so you have the required work experience.
Yeah.
So you did human anatomy and you've been doing program and project management for NGOs. What do these NGOs, what are they focused on?
Mostly health, and the other one was maternal and child health.
Okay, beautiful. So what do you intend to study in your master's?
I wanted studying in pharmacology, but a little bit inclined into AI and ML.
What's MM?
Artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Oh, machine learning. Oh, ML. Oh, because I had MM. Okay.
As in MMF.
Like, okay, so pharmacology, what's the idea behind pharmacology exactly?
Okay, like for instance, now in northern Nigeria, mostly the rural parts of northern Nigeria,
Now for you,
we usually see a lot of drug resistance and stuff like that. So me going for pharmacology, I want to bridge the gap between drug resistance, that is something like predictive personalized medicine, something like that. Making a drug for a particular person that has like the genome of that person is being channeled into that person's drugs.
Okay. So now, how do you intend to? I'm asking all these questions because every other person, you should be asking yourself these questions. So how do you intend to marry your volunteering in as like your program and project management experience in these NGOs to your
So, okay,
pharmacology?
basically, most of these NGOs are focused on rural areas, and mostly their health advocacy and all of that. So if there can be a way I could bridge the gap between, okay, going to those rural places, getting their genetics, creating drugs for each person or personalized genetics or locations like that, it could be able to help me, okay, get drugs for these people, stuff like telemedicine and all of that.
All right, so let's start with your first
I think I want to
example.
respond to Anna.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because she has a very
Yeah, I want to say something.
that goal, eh? Okay, but yeah, Martins.
Okay, hi Anne, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Just two questions, right? If you are going to study first, my goodness,
Someone is playing music.
just a moment, let me remove this person from this meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. First things first, you want to think about the connection between your MNCH projects and gene variations by environment. I'm picking up that you are talking about gene editing, right?
Yeah.
And then you're talking about personalized gene variations and gene manipulation. This is very lab intensive. Do you have any idea or any organizations that's already doing this? Can you give me one example of an organization that's doing gene editing right now?
In Nigeria,
Yes.
actually, I don't know. For NGOs, I really have no idea.
Globally, any organization that's doing gene editing,
Apart from schools, no.
how are you going to connect your desire for personalized genetics for drug therapy, right, to MNCH project?
Okay, so I took courses on Coursera. And then apart from that, I'm in some boot camps, though they are not Nigerian boot camps, like the Microgen and some other ones. They usually have like boot camps for specific stuffs like that. Some will be molecular docking, stuffs like that. Microgen is more of bioinformatics and all of that. So I just feel like with those experiences, I could navigate through.
The closest thing that you have said to me that remotely makes sense is bioinformatics, right? And
Yeah.
that one you can use for this personalized genetics that you're talking about, going into places and then using specific or individualistic like profiles to recommend drugs. So using machine learning algorithms to like make recommendations for individuals is all about, for example, if I ask you like 5 questions, I could tell that this is your profile, this is your environment. Maybe you possibly would tell me that this is your blood type and all that, and then these are your like your medical history. So if that data can be gotten, there's an AI algorithm that can tell you that, okay, this will be how you should treat this kind of stuff. So it's personalized prescription medicine, right, that you're looking at. So bioinformatics and AI ML will be a more preferred course that you are looking at. If you want to use this for maternal and your child health, then it's also realistic, but you need to still think deeply. So you need to go and search for organizations doing this, and you need to check for what courses that align. We can actually do a very simple draft of essay for you right now on this call, but it's quite interesting what you want to do. I just had to unmute my mic. Sorry, Rita. Bye-bye. Bye,
No,
guys.
no, it makes sense. And I want you to still stay on the call, Martins, because the whole point of a Chevening leadership essay is there has to be a connect, not just with what you want to study, but with what you're doing and how you intend to do it. Because you're going to have to show how you intend to do it when you come back. You're going to the UK. Now, you said you're doing some courses on Coursera, you're doing this and you're doing that, right? Are these people that you're working with on Coursera and everything, are they in the UK, these companies or whatever?
They are mostly schools from the US.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
So how do you so now what are you coming to the UK to learn? Do you get? Yes, you're going to do the masters and all of that, but I'm still trying to, maybe because I'm not in your field, maybe it's still rolling over my head, but your goal seems very large because you said something
Rita,
about people coming back to make drugs and do this and do that. So I'm just like, if you're coming back to come and make meds, the kind of the research that would go into that, the kind of money funding that would go into that, is this something that you'll be equipped to do after a 1-year intensive master's degree in the United Kingdom? Favour, you wanted to say something?
yeah, so like everybody has said, it's quite broad. AI, ML, genetic for drug therapies, I know. In some way, I can relate to what you're saying, but I would need you to go and check for organization, not necessarily NGOs. So when you were asked if you've searched for organizations, you were like, you've not seen NGOs. They don't need to be NGOs. They can be government-owned facilities as well that kind of do what you're interested in and all of that. And it might help if you could probably just share more about your career plan, because now you say this is what you want to come back and do, but how do you intend to go about that? Because it's going to kind of help you know how to link everything together. If you know what you want to do and you know what you want to do, you're sure this is what you want to do. It's not you coming back and saying that, yeah, Martins has mentioned you can actually implement that in MSH and all of that. But, and also, just to add, it doesn't have to be organizations implementing it directly in your field, directly on that MSH that you intend to do that. They can be doing that probably in an environment, but as long as it's around what it is that you want to do around that, you can check for them. They don't have to be NGOs.
Okay. All right, let's write. Let's write. Martin, since you're the medical person, you're going to actively be on this on this call right now. So let's start with your introduction. How do you start your, I want to, like, you're going to be writing with me, Anne. Is Anne still on the call? Hello, Anne.
I'm still here.
Okay. So let us start writing. Now, this is your leadership essay. We know your background now. Abi? Let's just
Yes.
assume what you want to do. You will obviously tweak it as time goes by. So let's write your introduction. What do you feel like your introduction should look like?
Okay. I think I should talk about um
There's no one size fits all for introduction, by the way. So don't be thinking, oh, what have I listened to on YouTube? What the scholars say an introduction? Just pretend now you want to write. Yeah, please. I think you should put the
I
question.
think I will start with a story about personalized medicine in rural northern Nigeria.
Okay. A story that has like backing, like this story, is it something
Yes.
or a story that happened to you? So I'm asking because is it like a personal thing you want to say? Or is it like statistics you want to give of something happening in northern
I
Nigeria?
think statistics will be better because I do have a personal story
Okay, perfect. So what statistic is that?
using WHO statistics and all.
Okay. So let's just say hypothetically that this thing I'm saying is correct. We're talking about what? Maternal and child health, right? In northern Nigeria, or what are we talking about?
This why I should cancel the maternal and child. I should talk about personalized medicine.
Who is there that said you should cancel it?
Okay, I was advised
Please.
because maternal in this thing is a little bit broad.
Who said it's broad, really?
The point we're not trying to say what you must do. It's just like suggestions, but let's just assume you're still using maternal and child health, okay? So
Okay,
now we're starting the leadership essay.
okay.
According to, is there any statistic you've researched so far?
Not yet. I told you I've not started anything. I was just waiting to grab the whole materials first.
Yeah, is that what you're researching, Martins?
Yep.
Perfect. We'll use
So
statistics now.
I think this personalized medicine, like she said, right? I'm just trying to think of a way that we can link everything because it is broad.
We might not find it now. That's why I said let's just start writing. So let's give her introduction first. You get? When we now give her introduction, we go to the next stage, which is her first example that she wants to give. The whole goal here now is to show, is not to make her own whatever perfect, it's to show how they should write in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. So with this now, at least she will have that boost to go and start writing. And then in time, she can be tweaking, reevaluating her goals, reevaluating her plans, and then she'll tweak the essay. So
I have a lot of research to do. Now, don't wait till you grasp everything. You don't need, just
exactly.
start now. At the end of the day, you see that there's no time. Start now, especially with how broad it is. I'm telling you this from my own experience. I'm not in a well-known field in Nigeria. So start now. You need a lot of research.
Matters, I don't need all these plenty, just anything, any line that
Don't
you
worry, I was looking for something, I found it. I'm trying to, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Mm-hmm. How many words is this one now?
So, Anne, I want you to tell me one problem in maternal and child health.
Okay. In northern Nigeria, mostly is lack of access to hospitals and drugs.
Okay.
Okay, so I just put a couple of things, Rita. We will just pick the one that's most useful, and then
Yeah, I'm already seeing. The what you've written is fine. To be fair, what you've written is fine. We're not writing the full essay, so I just want to say
so for the
we
sake
can
of those who
start
are
by
on the
saying
call,
the World Health Organization.
yeah,
The World Health Organization has estimated reproductive fertility in Nigerian females. The World Health Organization has estimated reproductive fertility in Nigerian females to be 4.8 or 60% out of 231, blah, blah, blah. Okay, of reproductive age. With the global female POP of blah, 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 blah. Now, this global female POP, she's writing to the essay review committee. Not everybody might know what global female POP is.
I think it's population.
Okay.
Is that population, Martins?
population, yeah.
Okay. So the World Health Organization estimates that the fertility rate for women of reproductive age is 4.8. 4.8 what?
4.8%.
Okay. 4.8% with a global female population of 60% out of blah, blah, blah people.
Mm-hmm.
In Nigeria, because this is the global whatever, or we can just say in Nigeria, just to make with the right. This figure, or we can say this figure is dismal in Nigeria, or this figure is worse in Nigeria, or these figures are worse in Nigeria. You know, or in Nigeria, cervical cancer and the body. Now, the reason I have a problem with this is that it's not flowing because
Yep.
yeah, not to flowing because we're talking about fertility rates, and now we're jumping to cervical cancer. So it's like, how?
So the thing is, if we want to talk about reproductive age, you will have to talk about one of the key things that's a problem for them. And I think that's a global burden, but that's why I asked her for an issue that she has noticed, right?
Okay, so instead of saying in Nigeria, we can say in northern Nigeria because she noticed this issue in northern Nigeria. So we can
So
say
in northern Nigeria, and
yeah.
what you said, facility delivery is poor, right? I think we can put that there instead of cervical cancer, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so sorry, can I just say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said the example, what she has noticed is poor delivery, no access to hospitals and drugs.
Drugs, yes.
Okay, so is it possible instead of that fertility? Okay, yeah, you've deleted that.
Exactly.
Also, just check for
Let's not
statistics
check
of
for anything because we don't have time. Let's use hypothetical figures. In Nigeria, the uptake of vaccination and facility deliveries, just say in northern Nigeria, the uptake of vaccination and facility deliveries is poor among women of reproductive age. The WHO estimates that 20% of women do not have access to medication and this.
2023 WHO.
Yeah, estimates that what? Let's just give let's say
Percent of
55%.
women.
let's say 55% of women,
especially in
have
rural
access.
areas, do not have access to healthcare and maternal medicine for blah, 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 blah. Health services. So now, I don't know if we're going to have enough words to come and be giving examples. So we can now say, this motivates my, or this is my motivation to undertake a master's degree in, what did she say she wanted to do? AI and ML, I busy pharmacology. Which one? Put anyone there.
I
This
think it's pharmacology.
Yes,
Yeah.
opportunity a career in pharmacology. No, it's either you're saying you're pursuing an MSc or you're saying you're pursuing a career. You can't pursue a career in MSc pharmacology. Yeah, for pursuing a career in pharmacology.
So I would say that instead of this access to proper maternal and child health services, we can be more specific and just break it down to do not have access to drugs, because maternal and child health services is broad. So they do not have access to drugs and hospitals.
Oh, that matters.
Okay, people don't have access to drugs, and where you can just
Drugs and pharmacology.
like want to write it, yeah, and where there are drugs, these drugs are too expensive, blah blah blah. So this is my motivation for pursuing a career in pharmacology, comma. Oh, okay, you already have a semicolon. Can you put a full stop?
Please sing it.
To help women do so and so. Just write, Martins. Write. We are not making a perfect essay here. To help women in rural areas in Nigeria or in underserved areas with access personalized drugs. Prescript. Okay, perfect.
I don't mind. Happy Sunday. How is the weekend going?
Community.
Yes.
Now, you guys, the point I'm trying to make is that this is an introduction. It doesn't have to be this anyway, because I remember in my own leadership essay when I was writing, I said something personal to me. What example did I give? I know I gave an example of it was personal. Yeah. For example, I've seen an essay where someone gave like a personal thing, like, oh, I lost one of my mentees, I lost my father to financial constraints in my family affected our eating habits. And thus, she lost her father to bad eating habits, no food, and all of that. So that one is a personalized story. And that was how she started. Now, anybody that is reading that now will say, are you serious? So your daddy died because people could never afford food. You understand? So there should be an introduction, something that makes people want to continue reading your essay. Now, yes.
Yeah, just to add to that. So I think I started mine with a personal story and statistics.
Exactly.
I merged the two of them.
Weekend, or what do you think?
Exactly. So now this thing now, she can say, God forbid, and not your portion. She can say, my mother's death during childbirth in Kano State, Nigeria. Or my mother died during childbirth. Let me phrase it properly. Say, in 1994, my mother died while birthing my youngest sibling in Kano State, Nigeria, due to poor healthcare facilities and lack of drugs, blah, blah, blah. Recent data estimates that 55% of women do not have access to drugs, especially in rural Nigeria. This is my motivation for pursuing a career in pharmacology, to help women access personalized drug prescriptions, especially in underserved communities. Have you now seen now, this way you have mixed your personal experience with a general issue, the issue it is that you want to solve. It's okay not to have a personal experience and use only statistics. It's okay to use only statistics, but the point I'm trying to make is that there has to be an introduction, something that shows us this is what this person does. At first glance, now anybody reading this introduction will know that Anne she's in health and she does maternal and child health. Do you understand? And then after this introduction now, we'll go into her first example. Anna says she has been volunteering in NGOs, in the programs and management, in program and project management in NGOs. And they do a lot of health and maternal and child health projects. So let's now say, she can now say, for her first example.
So what I've done is I've tried to like put like some example of what you were saying earlier, right?
Okay, yeah.
That doesn't have to start with statistics. For example, besides the fact that we just personalized that introduction that somebody's mother died during childbirth, or somebody's father, or maybe died from malnutrition, right? Or there is a huge difference between making money and great impact in lives. So depending on how you want to start, right? I think the introductions we have are like 3 different introductions. We can now maybe go on into the example.
Yeah. So let's
sorry, just for the personal story, it does not have to be a sad story.
Yes.
Nobody must die. Please. You're not past, it's not empathy you're looking for. You're not looking for sympathy, sorry. You're not looking for sympathy. Nobody must die in your story.
Yes. So now we move on to the first example.
She said she volunteered.
You can say as volunteer, yeah. You can say while volunteering or as volunteer for the Help Women Live Foundation. Abi now.
The name Help Women Live is.
We're conducting the research as Amen, no Michael.
In Congo.
In Congo, kwa. How can she be talking about Nigeria writing Congo down?
No, I'm just putting that there.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. I learned.
Okay.
Or
okay,
what?
I learned. Let's say I observed the paucity. Sorry, let me use the word.
I'm waiting for you. Is it paucity you want to put?
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to give like a storyline. Like I observed
Me, I would just say the plight.
I observed that 1 in every 5 women.
Yeah. Thank you. But who did she do the research? Yes.
Please, and you don't have to write this thing if it's not your story. This is just an example.
I think I'm crazy. Wow.
Okay.
And this is not your essay. This is a demonstration. I hope you are aware.
Yes, so
Yeah, sure.
I observed the plight of vulnerable women or indigent women, for example, indigent women. In rural, while conducting research as volunteer for Helping Girls Foundation, I observed the plight of vulnerable and indigent young women in northern Nigeria. So remove that in Congo, in northern Nigeria. This plight itself is broad. Or I observed that indigent young women in northern Nigeria, I observed that Indigent young women in northern Nigeria faced
And did you carry out any project?
good.
Probably.
Actually, I wrote a paper for the NGO on predicting pregnancy complications, but I don't know how it will fit here.
Preventing pregnancy complications.
Or just remove postpartum hemorrhage and put pregnancy complications.
Yes.
Yeah, it can fit.
Yeah, it can. Pregnancy complications.
And you're also talking about personalized drugs.
Let's just say due to this fact, what else?
Was it just the paper that you wrote? Sorry,
So
I'm
she
asking.
can say,
It's
so she
not
can say, yes, because she was conducting a research, right? It's still in
Yeah.
line, actually.
So
Her paper showed this. So now this is the problem. Why isn't the STAR approach, guys? Remember. So this is the situation. High burden of maternal death due to so complications. Now let's go to the task.
sorry,
So what
just
did she do?
sorry, Rita, before I go, I think this can still be rephrased to make it shorter. So we are using that she's a program manager. As a program manager as a volunteer program manager with Helping Girls Association, I wrote a paper that found or that discovered that sorry, I can't really see this, that observes indigent young girls and in northern Nigeria were faced with a high burden. Yeah.
Of
With
maternal
high
death.
burden of maternal death due to. So there we have mentioned her role, not just as a random volunteer.
Yeah. Yes.
A specific volunteer.
So you can say as project manager for Helping Girls or something.
Yeah.
As project manager for Helping Girls. As project manager for Helping Girls Foundation, I conducted a research
that showed
highlighted I conducted a research. Even no, it's not whose, which results or something. We'll do the grammar later. Which results highlighted a young women,
which showed
that indigent young women were susceptible to indigent young women in northern Nigeria. Leave that part. Yeah, were susceptible to
We can just do we were faced, really. Let's just continue.
Okay, we're facing high burden of due to obstructive complications. Okay, good. So now that's the problem. Now let's go to the task.
In a bid to mitigate this, because of time, guys, we have 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. To address this, remember we're teaching them to be concise. So to address this, I initiated a Martin, just you two, anything that comes to you be writing since we're trying to be fast.
The only thing that can come to my brain is I co-founded.
Founder.
You co-founded what?
I co-founded Let Us Live Foundation. A Nigerian-based
to and raised funds to add to focused on Delivery. Now this is the task. What was the action?
What did you do?
I
Organized.
Mm-hmm.
What do I
Free
organize?
medicine.
Yeah, free medicine outreaches
Yeah.
or free medical outreaches. Free medical outreaches.
What
Across 5 communities in Taraba State or whatever. Sokoto, good.
that reached
Distributed drugs. What did this free medical outreach do? So you organized free medical outreach as well across 5 communities. What did the outreaches do?
I think at this point she can mention, basically we said free medical outreach, so they're expecting drugs. That's maybe you can mention a specific pregnancy drug that you gave out, and I gave out pregnant care, gave out pregnant care drugs to women, and also checked their BP as well, because BP in pregnant women is something, and also check their blood pressure. I don't know, instead of BP, because these people may not be familiar with your terms.
Waste for procuring and distributing maternal health kits to over 3,000. Okay, sorry. Yeah, 300.
And your numbers does not have to be in hundreds, so
yeah, it could be 50 women, it could be 20 people, just the exact people you help.
5. It does not have to be in hundreds.
So now, okay, so this is our action, right? What was our result? Through this outreach, through my outreaches, or through these outreaches.
Okay.
The result through these outreaches. Over
That since you've said 300 plus, now you say over 3,000.
3,000. I just
How many numbers? How many people?
I'll just put this as 3,000 now. Let's just be going, guys.
Yeah, so over 3,000 women and girls received adequate care, and the mortality rate. Oh, yeah. Received, yes, adequate medical care. Right? So we've given the number of people that we benefited, and mortality rate in Sokoto, Nigeria, in those communities.
So, sorry.
Or you name a particular community in Sokoto, Nigeria, reduced by, say, 20%, as evidenced by maybe the Kano State Government Health Report 2023. Did you understand?
I'm thinking of how to put that at the end.
At this, I would say, if we say the Sokoto State Government, Kano State, the mortality rate in Kano State reduced by 20%, as reported. So we cannot really
say in that community.
Okay, I can then say resulting in an increase in facility delivery. We're just falsifying everything.
We're falsifying. 20% increase. Okay, yeah.
Don't forget that you can be asked who told you all these things?
That's what I said, as evidenced by Sokoto State Government report, healthcare report for 2023. Do you get? Because you have to have a base on which you're relying. You cannot just come by yourself and say there was 20% increase. How? So it's reported in the annual Damaturu health report. I don't know.
We can also say contributing to the reduction of by so percent. because it's more like a contribution. It's
Yeah.
not your entire project that did
Help
it.
you. Yes, of course, of course. Annual Sokoto healthcare report now. Remember this thing, it doesn't
The
matter because
Nigerian Health Watch, blah, blah, blah.
okay, Nigerian Health Watch report. Good.
Report or newsletter.
Just write report there. It's not a real thing. All right.
Okay.
So
I'm
now
just,
we have
I'm just going to
written.
bring this down. So, how
Okay.
many words have we written so far?
How many words are these?
158 words.
158. Imagine, we've not done second example. You've not done third example. You've
Exactly.
not
So
Not
this
the
is one
sure.
example.
done conclusion. You already have 158 words. Do you understand? So guys, by the time you use this principle now to write your second example, you use it again to write your third example. If you have three, if you don't have three and you have only two, that's fine. And then you go to your conclusion. You see that, remember that this thing now, we're not even writing it properly because we're thinking on the spot. But you've seen that in this now, we've given you an introduction to show
I'm
you.
going to highlight the introduction in yellow, right?
Mhm.
And then the situation in red.
Those things for Nigeria, they always do.
Martins, when you get to the results, please let me know. I'm just saying
I'm going
instead
to
of
highlight the, what's it called? The action.
Task and action, yeah.
The action in whatever color that is, I don't know.
And that's the result.
And the results in blue or green.
Good.
So I hope we are following everyone. We
Please, are we
apologize for
following? Are you
the
getting any
it's a
value
lot.
from this thing? Are you getting any value? Yes, so writing is not easy. All right, now let's go to the let's pretend we're concluding. Conclusion.
Okay. So imagine we've gonna yeah.
Remember that this is just one example, guys. Oh. This is not your whole essay.
So
This is just one
this is
example.
then this spot is for second example.
Exactly. Then do third
Yes,
example,
sir.
and then we'll go to conclusion. If you have, if you don't have, fine.
Is that second example? Okay, let's get some conclusion.
All right, so
Favor, you wanted to say
conclusion.
something.
Now, this is where we have to prove that we are here in the conclusion. You're now telling Chevening that, you people have seen all I've done so far, and I hope that with everything I've done, I'll be able to get this scholarship, and this is what value I'm going to bring to Chevening as well.
nothing. Sorry, so far in your career, what happened?
I've pushed for the increased maternal. Let him just be writing first. Continue first.
We don't have time. We're ending the meeting in 10 minutes, guys.
If this will make one person go back and rewrite or make one person start writing, for me, it's worth it.
Raised
And girls in underserved communities. I believe that the Chevening Scholarship, hey, wahala, we never touch networking.
that will not be today.
Yeah, I believe that the Chevening Scholarship is the platform or you can even say Chevening is a leadership-based scholarship, and okay, would help amplify my good.
Or you can also say studying this course with a Chevening scholarship will help me achieve social skill. Will help me acquire social skill.
Yes.
Improve.
Because this is too this thing is too broad. I believe it will help me amplify my prospects or a group. It's too broad. Instead, just say
You can then
studying-
specify.
Yeah, be specific. Studying a master's and MSc in pharmacology would arm me with skills like this one, that one, to contribute, to contribute to maternal and child care, blah, 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 and improve sustainability development goals 2100 in Nigeria.
Okay.
So that's the idea.
Basically it, guys. So unfortunately, we're unable to go into networking because of time, but I must appreciate Rita and Favour. Can we please put our hands together for them? It's not easy writing an essay live.
We'll share the slides. Let me reply this lady.
We'll not be able to go through that.
To start with, you can go to my channel. There's a very, very comprehensive video I made on networking on my YouTube channel. You can go there and you can watch that particular video. I think I would have to put out more videos.
So more resources will be shared, as already said and discussed. Don't worry, next weekend we'll be able to do more than we did today because we're focusing on actually writing next weekend, right?
So
yeah.
Okay, Martins, we are sharing the slides, right? At the end of
that will be shared, that's fine.
As well, there's a link to a drive. So in that drive, every single resource I used to write or during my own Chevening application, it's there. You can find every single thing there in that drive, and that's it there. There are also examples of networking in the slide. By the end, you get access to everything.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. So in conclusion, we have the class code to share, right? So that you can impute that in the attendance for today. So I'm just going to go over the schedule quickly so that we can all see and then we can close. Thank you very much, Rita and Favour. This was great. So if you can see my screen, everyone. This week you are reading, like we said yesterday, you are reading chapter 6 to 8 of Donald Asher's book. You're going through the resource we put together for study and school justification. I'm also putting out your tracker. Then you're also watching the videos already put out, and then you're writing your draft on Wednesday, Thursday, and you're submitting your drafts for reviews on Friday. So this week we'll begin reviewing drafts, right, for essays. So that's your assignment for the week. The code for today's attendance, which will be shared shortly by Ifechi in the chat box, the code is GL002. So the form will request you for today's attendance code. It is GL002. This code is not to be shared on the WhatsApp group for those who did not join. And also afterwards, Ifechi will be sharing the list of people that will be leaving this bootcamp by the end of this session. Thank you all who have made it so far. Next week, this is what we're looking at next week. Next week, we're looking at writing the study in the UK essay and writing the career plan essay. That's what we're looking at next week, right? And then afterwards, we start live essay reviews. We'll be reviewing your essays on the call and editing your essays on the call, right? Don't forget to follow Rita and Favour on LinkedIn. We'll share the slides for today with you, as already said. Anna, you have 30 seconds to ask a question. 30 seconds.
Thank you so much, Martin. I really appreciate. From this session now, I have seen a lot of ways that my essays could actually be very better. But I have a question. From this format now, it looks like I have to use my most recent experience to justify, to start the essay because it's more relevant to the course I want to study and the problem I want to solve. Meaning that the works I've done in my community may not really fit into. So, and because sometimes they always say that you have to write your essays in a chronological um, format. So, and those experiences came before these last experiences. What do you think? Do I start with this?
I don't know that I would say you must start with your most recent experience. If I remember correctly,
Or I still have to follow like? Wait, can you hear me?
yeah.
Anna, I think your network is breaking.
Your network was breaking, so it looked like
Okay, I'm back now. Like I'm just trying to say that do I have to follow like as it happened, or I can just start from the recent, then and I'll make reference to other things.
so what you're asking, are you saying if you can start from your most recent experience now, or start from an experience of like before, just to make it flow?
I've said 3 experiences, 2 in my community, 1 in my workplace. The one in my workplace is more related to the problem I want to solve.
And then the
So
two in your community are not really related.
okay, for instance, the 2 in my community is waste and climate education and waste management. But the one in my workplace is energy transition, and I'm going for energy transition. I'm going for a course related to energy transition.
Oh wow, okay. You know
I'm
what?
going
This
to
one
give
will
you an
require
example.
personalized work, to be fair,
So I'm
because
going to give you an example. If you share your draft will be reviewed and comments will be given to you. That's the
yeah,
first one.
it requires
And also,
personalized work.
like I said, if your draft is ready, you can share it, and possibly if you want Rita to review it, to be sent to Rita, and then she would give you comments. All right, because I need to end this call. I have another call already concurrently running. Sorry, guys. Having said that, there are questions in the chat box. The link to the attendance will be fixed, and the code, like I said, is GL002. And also for your drafts, yes, you can write your leadership draft, and you can also have all your 4 drafts. It depends on you. You can write all your 4 drafts. You can write just 2 drafts and run out and responding to your question, right? For those asking for their channels, if you type their name on YouTube, you will definitely see their channel, right?
Just try on YouTube, because I don't.
Um,
My name is not written on YouTube.
My name is not Favour on YouTube either.
Okay,
CSI
but if
Chronic.
you type your name on Google, you definitely see their LinkedIn and all of that. So you can find. They're also on the Global Wins platform, actually, so you can find them. That's for that. All right, that brings me to the end of today's session. Thank you very much, Rita and Favour. I really appreciate you for joining in today. Please do not forget your assignments. We will be seeing you next week. Please keep in touch for all the activities that will be coming your way on the WhatsApp group and the things that will be shared shortly after this session. Let us know how today's session was for you. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right.